All right, audio started. Now let's get this review going. What? No, I promised my friend I'd find some way of incorporating this into my next video. I got it for really cheap. Hey, no bringing that up, okay? Oh, you're gonna get it, jackass. Hello and welcome back to another Midnight Showing. As always, I'm Kelly, and I just got out of the Peanuts movie. Yeah, I know I'm a week late on this. Nothing was really pre-screening this week, so I went to something I hadn't gotten time to see yet. And oh boy, am I glad that I went and saw this one, because this was actually really, really, really good. I was really surprised by just how good this movie really was. I thought this movie was going to be really bad, truth be told. I mean, it's Blue Sky Studios. I mean, don't get me wrong. I liked the first Hoodwink movie. The second one, Rio, freaking the Ice Age franchise, their movies suck. They really do. They're cute, and I can see why some people might like the style of them, but I've never been a fan, personally. And so when I heard that they were doing a Peanuts movie, I was like, oh no, what the hell are they going to do? And going into this film, I was surprisingly had a smile on my face. There aren't any, laugh out loud hilarious moments. I mean, if I were to compare this movie to, say, Inside Out had moments where I was just on the ground laughing, especially with anger. But if I were to compare this to, say, the Minions movie, this movie was much more engaging, and I found myself focusing more on the characters that I'm actually supposed to focus on versus all the stuff happening in the background that was completely there for those of us who don't really give a crap about the Minions. So, yeah. Overall, for a final non-spoiler version of this was worth seeing. If you have a family, take them to it. You won't be disappointed. You don't really look for logic problems inside this, because that's kind of the whole point of Charlie Brown, is that logic, it doesn't really ingest itself very well into this world. The humor kind of borders on the depressing, really shoving down these kids, especially Charlie Brown, into dust. But yeah, there's enough uplifting humor inside this. You could actually think of this movie as a sequel to the play You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, because they have almost the exact same message. I know, it's really weird. But yeah, non-spoiler version, go see this film. If you can't see in 3D, because they had some pretty cool 3D effects, especially when the movie turns to 2D for some small sections. It's really, really good. For the spoiler section, yeah, just know this isn't going to be very long, because I'm not going to spend here, dive into all of the little things, because it's Charlie Brown. There's really not much there. It's more of just the story of Charlie Brown being Charlie Brown. So, what's the premise of this whole movie? A new girl moves into town. They call her the Little Redhead Girl. They don't even bother giving her a name. I was laughing at that. It's like, you live next door to her. She's in your class. You should probably learn her name. But yeah, Charlie Brown thinks that she's really cute and wants to work up the courage to go say hi to her and be friends and close. And he just sets out in the movie trying to impress her. But it's Charlie Brown. Everything he does fails in funny ways. Meanwhile, you have everybody else shoving him down and then building him up only to shove him down again. There's a lot of really good build-ups to the moments when Charlie Brown loses everything. The best one, in my opinion, is the school dance. They end up, he doesn't ask anyone to the school dance, but Charlie Brown sees the girl dancing from across the street, and he's like, she's into dancing. There's a school dance. Oh my gosh, my time has come. I can do this. I just have to learn how to dance. So he goes into this like little training montage with Snoopy, where Snoopy pulls out a bunch of steps and teaches him how to dance by following the little patterns on the floor. It's really kind of cute. It gets a lot of really good moments. You see him actually trying and failing and then succeeding. He's practicing. He wants this to work. And once he gets to the dance, he starts doing his dance and everyone's liking it. And then he slips on some punch, slow-mo, which ends up like throwing one of his shoes off that hits a sprinkler that sets them all off, of course, and everyone runs outside the dance that he just ruined. It's funny. There's build-up there, and just seeing how he failed. But it can also be a very, very depressing type scenario. That's the Charlie Brown formula. It borders on that depressing. It has enough uplifting inside of it to counter the stuff that is not uplifting. But there are times when it's not always, how to say it, measuring very well. I mean, overall, the movie is very well balanced. If there's one word that can describe this movie in no spoilers or anything like that, it's cute. Everything is extraordinarily cute. And the movie seems self-aware of this at times, being that there was one moment where the characters literally are like looking at the cute moment and just everyone's like, "Aww." It's like, yes, we get it. You're cute. You don't have to tell the audience. And it does work. It works very, very well. But there are times when it gets a little too depressing. I feel that the book report... so, later in the movie, everyone gets assigned partners to do joint book reports with. And Charlie Brown ends up getting partnered with the redhead girl. But she's out of town and the book report is due before she gets back. So Charlie Brown takes it upon himself to do the entire book report himself. So he reads War and Peace. Yes. War and Peace. Thank you. That was a joke that was well appreciated. But yeah, he does the entire book report, and Charlie Brown, he's being very self-conscious and like, oh no, this isn't going to be good. I'm going to fail us all. It just doesn't work out that way. So he gives it to Linus. I think I said that right. His friend, he's like, oh, this is actually really, really good. This is some of the best literary analysis I have ever seen. Literally, he's using big words. It doesn't fit the kiddish atmosphere, which I think was the point. He's just sitting there reading it, and the little redhead girl hears, wait, there was a book report due today? Yes, you were partnered with Charlie Brown, but he went out of his way and he did the entire thing for you. And might I say, this is really good. He goes to hand it back to Charlie Brown. The wind blows the papers up in the air, and a stupid plot point involving a Red Baron plane, toy plane, that's been just flying around, comes by and shreds the entire paper. That right there was a little too depressing, especially if what happens afterwards, where Charlie Brown does sink into that crevice of giving up, which kind of makes the whole ending, all that more uplifting, but I still think it was a little too much for what the movie was trying to get across. Because every time he tries something, he works really hard and he's about to succeed, and then something happens that makes him choose to fail or fail on purpose. There's a talent show early in the movie where he forgoes his entire act in lieu of making his little sister's act better, which is very, very cute and whatnot. And honestly, I would have done that. That was very well done. But it's just that border that doesn't always feel balanced. And if there's one thing that is a little annoying about this, the cutaways with Snoopy. Don't get me wrong, Snoopy is funny in this movie, and he is very engaging. A lot of his fast-paced humor doesn't always mesh with what the rest of the film is doing, but I always found myself smiling inside of it, so I can't really fault it for it. But there are some cutaways where he finds a typewriter and he starts typing out a story about the Red Baron and him finding love. It's really... It seems more like it was in there for trailer fodder than it was anything else, just to kind of pad the movie out to its hour and 45-minute length. It doesn't feel necessary. And I get what they were trying to do with it. The story is paralleling Charlie Brown about, the initial like and trying to impress, but things keep going wrong, to the overwhelming despair to the point where inside Snoopy's story, the female poodle gets kidnapped and Snoopy is left for dead. Yes. There's actually bullets inside of this movie. You'd think that they'd kind of not do that, but no, there's several shots where Snoopy's flying and all of a sudden just bullet holes run across his freaking doghouse that he's flying on. Wait, what? There's a moment where he starts shooting at the Red Baron, where he just pretends to... And you actually see bullet holes appear on the Red Baron's plane. Okay. I'll give the movie credit. Very few kids' films will be willing to do that anymore. I will give it a lot of credit for that. But at the same time... And yeah, the story that's going on is paralleling Charlie Brown's own kind of failures with this girl. And when it's at its most depressing, Snoopy's stories at the most depressing. But they just go on for so damn long. I mean, seriously, if you cut all of the Snoopy chapter bits and put them out there, it'd probably be close to 35 minutes of the film is this. 35 minutes is dedicated to this side story that really has nothing to do with anything. Some parts of it are engaging and funny enough to work, but there's some other parts inside of it, like the most depressing segment of it where Snoopy is shot down behind enemy lines and they basically have to rip off, behind enemy lines and Black Hawk Down, but for kids. Funny idea, I know, but at the same time, that whole section goes on forever. I mean, seriously, that's like the longest one there, and it just drags a lot. It's really the only negative about the entire movie, and I'm not really going to call it negative as much as I am going to call it a choice that should have been addressed. It could have been shorter, and nobody would have really cared. It probably would have made the movie a little bit stronger, too, if it had been a little bit shorter. This movie was running a little long, in my opinion. But yeah, by the end, he's impressed the girl by not only being himself, but by choosing to support his sister or take on the book report by himself so that for this girl who was obviously unaware that anything was going on. She's actually happy. And the story ends on a very, very happy note with everyone smiling. They even go back to the 2D animation where everyone's dancing. And I have to say, the 2D looks a hell of a lot better than the 3D inside of this. I'm not saying the CG's bad. I'm not saying CG was bad. I just think it was a bad fit for Charlie Brown. This should have been a 2D special along the same lines as the first 2/3 of the SpongeBob movie earlier this year. It just fits the type of humor. It fits the situations a lot better than the 3D animation. Although they did kind of make up for it by, much like the Lego movie, removing frames from this to give it more of a choppy appearance. So it mirrors more of the really bad animation from the originals. I get it, and it does look good, especially some of the sight gags they do. But I can honestly say that it probably would have looked better in the 2D. Because whenever they switched the 2D for Charlie Brown's Daydreams or a couple of Snoopy segments that have it in there, it just looks better and it feels more like a Peanuts film. I get why everything is CGI 3D now, but sometimes it's just better to do a 2D animation. It really is. Go watch, for all those who don't mind seeing random boobs thrown inside their films, go watch an anime movie called Redline. It's a 7-year project by some of the best directors and animators in Japan. Completely 100% hand-drawn. 2-hour just race movie. A bunch of racers on this cosmic course that spans an entire planet, basically. It's quite something. And proof that hand-drawn animation will always be superior to CGI. Go see it immediately. I mean, like, now. You're not gonna regret it. But with all of that said, I was really enjoying this movie. It's cute, it's fun, it's great for the family, and by God, you have Trombone Shorty doing the wah wah for all of the parents in this film. I do mean that. That was Trombone Shorty. I was laughing my ass off when his credit popped up at the end of this film. I mean, of all the people you could have gotten, thank you. Thank you very, very much. So, yeah, overall, this movie was good. I'm not going to say that it was a grand masterpiece. I'm not going to even say it's the best film of the year. Maybe the cutest film of the year, but it's not one of the best. But, hell, compared to a lot of the schlock I've had to put myself through, like this, they gave me a special edition. This is one of those really nice posters. I mean, it's like on cardstock. It's got all this anime, this weird print design. The feel of it's really good. I'm going to burn this later today. I really am. But yeah, it's compared to the schlock I've had to sit through this year, I can honestly say that this movie was probably one of the better movies I've gotten a chance to see. I highly recommend it. My final verdict is a must-see. Even if you're not a fan of Charlie Brown, this was just an overall good experience. You'll leave the theater with a smile on your face and with an uplifted spirit. So, yeah, that's it for me. Did you enjoy the video? Have you seen the Peanuts movie? Tell me what you thought about it in the comments below. Maybe we'll get some healthy discussion going. And as always, if you want to see some more of my videos, I will have links to my channel as well as a little eye icon, whichever corner this ends up in, with playlists to all of the films I've ever done. If you want to see some more of my recent ones, including the aforementioned piece of shit, I'll have those linked right down here. Be sure to follow me on Facebook and on Twitch. I am doing a playthrough of Until Dawn and Final Fantasy X right now. I will have those videos transferred over to Facebook or to YouTube eventually. Yeah. It's just been slow going. But you can always follow me. Both of those links are in the description below. And yeah, I guess I'll see you all next time.